There are so many resources out there about how to manage your time. Time block your calendar. Try the Pomodoro method. You should use Asana. None of it worked for me. I tried all of it and I was still burned out and feeling like I had way too much to do and not enough time to do it. I realized, especially as a freelancer, that time management is not about a list of tactics and tips. It's about an approach, a thought process to what you are doing with your time to make sure that it aligns with the time that you actually want to be spending on work. This is why when you're ready to get serious about freelancing, it's really important to ask yourself some key questions before you get started. I actually have a worksheet that dives into those questions. You can download it at the link in my description. But the key question within all of those is question number 7, which is, what does your ideal day, week, month, and year look like? This question is really important because it helps you to visualize the time that you really have, the time that you really want to spend, and make sure that you build a business that aligns with that time. For me, a day needs to have breathing room. I don't do back-to-back meetings. I don't do being at my computer all day. I'm getting up and I'm going to go have lunch downstairs at my kitchen counter. A week needs to be 4 days long. I prefer not to work on Fridays if I can help it. Of course, there's always things that may come up that require me to be online, but as a general rule, I try to stick to a 4-day work week. Thinking beyond just the day or the week, I want to go on vacation. I enjoy being able to take chunks of time off, not just a couple of days, but like a couple of weeks. So I think about how can I work as much as I can within sort of a short burst or sprint so that I can then take a little bit of time off later in the year. These are all things that I was able to reflect on at the beginning so that I could then go about building a client portfolio and building a business that allowed me to be able to maintain the things that I just said. So for example, I know that I am a morning person. I do enjoy sort of getting up early, getting a jump on work. I prefer to do things in the morning in terms of meetings and like if I have some really like hard work that I have to get done. And so if there's a client that needs me to be online at night, that would be a pretty easy decision for me to say, I don't think this is going to be a fit. That's not about managing time. That's about knowing my philosophy on time. And that's not to say that client might be worth working with for other reasons. It might be worth putting in that sacrifice. But this is about being able to reflect so that you can think through the implications of what it's going to mean when you take on certain work and the impact that that's going to have on your time. If I were to take on too many clients that I can handle that work in different time zones and would have me online on different hours, no amount of time management tactics would help me overcome what I've done to myself, right? I have to start from the beginning with the understanding of the type of time that I have, the type of time that I want to give, and how can I then map that to clients who work within that framework. And how can I make sure that I'm having conversations with those clients from the beginning to establish those ways of working and establish those boundaries. Especially as a new freelancer, it may be scary to think about doing that. You just want to make people happy, make the client happy, make sure that everything is the exact way that they want it. But that is a short-sighted goal when you, in the long term, are setting a client up to not respect your boundaries, to use and abuse you, and for you to be burned out. So you have to be able to make those decisions early on and have those discussions early on so that you can maintain what you probably wanted to accomplish by becoming a freelancer anyway, which is a better sense of peace and less stress when it comes to work. So instead of looking at time management as a list of tactics and do's and don'ts, I really think it's important to think about an overall approach and philosophy to time that will help you be able to develop a business where everything really falls into place on how your time is managed.